ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। In the last sessions, we were reading from the book Meditation and Spiritual Life by Swami Yatiswarananda. We just completed chapter 21, which is some practical hints on meditative life. During that reading, we made a number of references and quoted from chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita, or Adhyaya 6 of Bhagavad Gita, which is often referred to as Dhyana Yoga or Atma Sanyama Yoga. So we thought it's appropriate at this point in time to take a kind of a detour, if you will, a short digression, and actually chant the entire chapter 6 along with the meaning of each verse, because it is very relevant to what we just read from the previous chapter. The book, that text we are using is Srimad Bhagavad Gita by Swami Dayananda Saraswati, which has the text in Devanagari with Roman transliteration and English translation. It is available from the Arsha Vidya Research and Publication Trust, Chennai. You can visit www.avrpt.com avrpt.com to acquire the book. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Atha Shashtodhyayah Dhyana Yogaha. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Anashritah Karma Phalam Karyam Karma Karoti Yah Sasannyasi cha yogi cha naniragnirna chakriyah. Shri Bhagavan said, the one who performs action that is to be done, not driven by ends in view, he is a sannyasin and a yogin as well, and not just a sannyasin who has renounced all fire rituals and who does not perform any other action. Yam sannyasamiti prahur yogantam vidhi pandava nahya sannyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana. What they say as renunciation, know that to be karma yoga, Pandava. Because anyone who has not given up desires for limited results like heaven, etc., does not become a karma yogin. Arurukshor muner yogam karma karana muchyate yogarudhasya tasyaiva shamah karana muchyate. For the discriminating person wishing to attain the contemplative disposition of the yoga of meditation, karma yoga is said to be the means. For the person who has already attained this yoga, total renunciation alone is said to be the means. Yada hinendriyartheshu na karmasvanushajjate sarva sankalpa sannyasi yogarudhastadochyate. When one is attached neither to sense objects nor to actions, then that person is said to be one who has attained liberation, one who has renounced the cause of all desires. Uddharedatmanatmanan natmanamavasadayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmanah. May one lift oneself by oneself. May one not destroy oneself. For the self alone is one's benefactor and the self alone is one's enemy. Bandhuratmatmanastasya येनात्मैवात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत्. For that self who has mastered oneself by oneself, the self alone is a friend of oneself. Whereas for the self who has not mastered oneself, the self alone would remain in the status of an enemy, like an enemy. Jitatmanah prashantasya paramatma samahitah शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखेषु तथा मानापमानयोः. For the one who has mastery over oneself, whose mind is tranquil with reference to heat and cold, pleasure and pain, and praise and criticism, the mind is always in a state of composure. Jnana vijnana triptatma kutastho vijitendriyah yukta ityuchyate yogi samaloshtasmakanchana. One whose mind is content in the knowledge of the self, who remains unchanged, who has mastered the sense organs and organs of action, for whom a clump of earth, a stone, and gold are the same, this composed person is referred to as a yogin. Suhrun mitraryudasina madhyasthadveshya bandhushu sadhushvapi cha papeshu samabuddhir vishishyate. The one whose vision is the same with reference to a benefactor, a friend, an enemy, an acquaintance, an arbitrator, a person who evokes dislike, a relative, good people, and even towards sinners, he or she is the most exalted. Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi sthitah ekakiyata chittatma nirashira parigrahah. May the meditator, whose body and mind are relaxed, who is free from longing and possessions, remaining alone in a quiet place, constantly unite his or her mind with the object of meditation. Shuchau deshe pratisthapya sthiramasanamatmanah natyuchritan natimichan chailajina kushottaram tatraikagram manah kritva yatachittendriyakriyah upavishyasane yunjad yogamatma vishuddhaye. Having arranged one seat made of a piece of soft cloth, a skin, and a grass mat layered in reverse order in a clean place, firm, not too high and not too low, sitting there on the seat, making one's mind one-pointed, absorbed in the object of meditation. May the one who has mastered the mind and senses practice meditation for the purification of the mind. Samam kaya shiro grivam dharayanna chalam sthirah sampreksha nasikagram swan dishaschanavalokayan prashantatma vigatabhir brahmacharivrate sthitah manas sanyamya machitto yukta asita matparah. Holding oneself firm without moving, keeping the body, head, and neck in one straight line, as though looking at the tip of one's nose for eye position and not looking in all directions. Being the one whose mind is tranquil, who is free from fear, established in one's commitment to the life of a brahmacharin. May that meditator sit thinking of me, having me as the ultimate goal, while withdrawing the mind from everything else. Yunjannevam sadatmanai yogi niyatamanasah shantin nirvana paramam matsamsthamadhigacchati. always connecting the mind in this manner, the meditator, the one whose mind is mastered, gains the peace which is centered on me, which is in the form of an absorption in me, which is the ultimate liberation. नात्यश्नतस्तु योगोऽस्ति न चैकान्तमनश्नतः न चातस्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतो नैव चार्जुन. Meditation is not for one who eats too much or for one who does not eat at all. Nor indeed, Arjuna, it is for one who sleeps too much or who is always awake. युक्ताहार विहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः. For one who is moderate in eating and other activities, who is mindful in all activities, and to one sleeping and waking hours, for such a person meditation becomes the destroyer of sorrow. Yada viniyatam chittam atmanyevavatisthate nisprahas sarvakamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tada. When the mind has gained a certain composure and remains in the self alone, when one is free from longing for all the objects of desire, then the person is said to be one who is accomplished. Yatha deepo nivatastho nengate sopama smrita yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanah. A lamp protected from the wind does not tremble. This illustration is cited for the composed mind of the meditator who practices contemplation of the self. Yatro paramate chittan niruddhan yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyannatmani tushyati. When the mind mastered by the practice of meditation abides in Atman, and when seeing oneself by oneself alone, one rejoices in oneself. Sukhamatyantikam yattad buddhigrahyamatīndriyam vetti yatra na chaivayam sthitaschalati tattvatah. And when one recognizes this absolute happiness, which is known by the intellect, which is beyond sense perception, and when being rooted therein, one never moves away from the truth of oneself. Yallabdhva chaparallabham manyate nadhikantatah yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate tam vidya dukkha sanyoga viyogan yoga sannitam sanischayena yoktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa. And having gained which, one does not think there is any other better gain than that, established in which one is not affected even by a great sorrow, that is a sorrowful event. May one know that dissociation from association with sorrow is what is called as yoga. That yoga should be pursued with clarity of purpose, with a mind that is not discouraged. Sankalpa prabhavan kamans styaktva sarvana sheshatah manasaivendriya gramau viniyamya samantatah shanai shanairuparamedh buddhya dhriti grihitaya atma samstham manah kritva na kinchidapi chintayet. Giving up totally all desires which are born of thought, completely withdrawing the group of sense organs and organs of action by the mind alone, with the intellect endowed with perseverance, may one slowly resolve the mind in Atman. Making the mind abide in the self, may one not think of anything else. yato yato nischarati manaschanchalamasthiram tatastato niyam yaitad aitad atmanyeva vashannayet. For whatever reason, the unsteady mind, always in a state of flux, goes away. Bring it back from that, with reference to self alone. May one bring the mind into one's own hands. Prashantat prashantamanasam henai yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutamakalmasham. Indeed, the most exalted happiness reaches this meditator whose mind is tranquil, whose impurities have resolved, whose life is free from defects, who has become Brahman through knowledge. युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानै योगी विगतकल्मषः सुखेन ब्रह्मसंस्पर्शम् अत्यन्तं सुखमश्नुते. The meditator, free from the conflicts born of adharma, always uniting the mind with the object of contemplation in this manner, easily gains absolute happiness born of contact with recognition of Brahman. Sarvabhutasthamatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. One whose mind is resolved by this contemplation, who has the vision of sameness everywhere, sees the self abiding in all beings and all beings in the self. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvancha mai pashyati tasyahanna pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. The one who sees me in all beings and sees all beings in me, for him or her I am not remote, and he or she is not remote from me. Sarvabhutasthitham yo mam bhajatyekatvamasthitah sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. The one who gains the vision, having recognized the oneness of me abiding in all beings, that yogin abides in me, whatever he or she does. Atma upamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo matah. One who, taking oneself as an example or basis in all situations, seeing either pleasure or pain as the same, that yogin, Arjuna, is regarded as the most exalted. Arjuna uvacha yoyam yogastvaya proktas samyena madhusudana etasyahanna pashyami chanchalatvat sthitam sthiram. Arjuna said, Madhusudana, that is Krishna, this yoga that you have talked about as sameness, I do not see its steady vision due to agitation of the mind. Chanchalam himanah Krishna pramathi balavadhridam tasyahan nigraham manye vayorivasu dushkaram. In fact, Krishna, the mind is agitation, a strong, well-rooted tyrant. I think of it as impossible to control as the wind. Shri Bhagavan asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigrahanchalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha gruhyate. Shri Bhagavan said, no doubt, Arjuna, the mighty armed, the mind is agitated and difficult to master. But Kaunteya, that is Arjuna, it is mastered by practice and objectivity. Asanyatatmana yogo dushprapa iti me matihi vashyatmana tu yatata shakyo vaptumupayatah. Yoga is difficult to gain for the one by whom the mind is not mastered. This is my vision. Whereas it can be gained by the one whose mind is mastered, who makes effort with the proper means, that is, practice and objectivity. Arjuna uvacha ayat shraddhayopeto yogaachalitamanasaha aprapya yoga samsiddhim kangatim krishna gacchati. Arjuna said, the one who is endowed with faith in the Shastra, but whose effort is inadequate and whose mind wanders away from yoga, having not gained success in yoga, Krishna, to which end does he or she go? Kachinno bhaya vibrashtash chinna bhramiva nashyati apratishto mahabaho vimudho brahmanah pathi. Deluded in the path, knowledge of Brahman, is one who has fallen from both, being without any support, not destroyed Krishna the mighty armed, like a cloudlet torn asunder. Etanme samshayam Krishna chetumarhasya sheshatah twadanyas samshayasyasya chetana hyupapadyate. Krishna, you should eliminate this doubt of mine totally. For other than you, there is no one who can be the remover of this doubt. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Parthanaivehanāmutra Vinashastasya Vidyate Nahi Kalyana Krit Kaschid Durgatin Tata Gacchati. Shri Bhagavan said, indeed, Partha, that is Arjuna, there is no destruction for him or her, neither here nor in the hereafter, because anyone who performs good actions never reaches a bad end. Prapya punya krita lokan ushitva shashvati samaha shuchinam shrimatangehe yoga bhrashto bhijayate. Having gained the world belonging to those who do good actions, and having lived there for countless years, the one who did not succeed in yoga is born in the home of the wealthy and cultured people who are committed to dharma. Athava yoginameva kule bhavati dhimatam etadhi durlabhataral loke janmaya didrisham. Or, he is indeed born into the family of wise yogins. A birth such as this is indeed very difficult to gain in this world. Tatra tam buddhi sanyogal labhate paurvadehikam yatate chatato bhuyas samsiddhau kurunandana. There he gains a connection through the intellect with that which existed in his previous body and strives for further success in yoga than that gained previously. Arjuna, the joy of the Kuru family. Purvabhyasena tenaiva hriyate hyavashopi saha jignasurapi yogasya shabda brahmati vartate. By this previous practice alone, he is necessarily led to yoga. Even as the one who is desirous of the knowledge of yoga, he goes beyond the Veda, that is, the karma kanda of the Veda. Prayatnadyatamaanastu yogi samshuddha kilbishah aneka janma samsiddhas tato yati parangatim. Whereas the yogin who makes an effort by means of the will is cleansed of all impurities gathered in many births in the past, then he or she gains the ultimate end. Tapasvibhyodhiko yogi jnanebhyopi matodhikah karmebhyaschadiko yogi tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. A yogin is considered superior to those who live a life of meditation, superior even to the scholars, and superior to those who perform action. Therefore, Arjuna, be a yogin. योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां समे युक्ततमो मतः. The one who has Shraddha, who with a mind absorbed in me contemplates upon me, he is the most exalted among all yogins. This is my vision. Om Tat Sat Iti Srimad-Bhagavad-Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayai Yoga Shastre Shri Krishnarjuna Samvade Dhyana Yogo Nama Shashtodhyayah. Om Brahman is the only reality. Thus ends the 6th chapter called Dhyana Yoga, having the topic meditation in the Bhagavad Gita, which is in the form of a dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, which is the essence of the Upanishads, whose subject matter is both the knowledge of Brahman and Yoga. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.